Hello everyone, I am Josh and welcome to this Sims 3 house building video. So today I am building a kind of traditional Victorian styled house here in Midnight Falls. Not Midnight Falls, wow. I knew that I was gonna mess that up, and sure enough I did. I meant Moonlight Falls, of course. Yeah, what names. Yeah, so this is the world that came with Supernatural, and I always get the name of this world confused with Midnight Hollow, which was a store world. You know, like Midnight Hollow and Moonlight Falls, not the same names, but for some reason I get them confused all the time. Anyway, that's besides the point. This house is kind of built in somewhat of a forest area, hence the name Woodland Place, just because I couldn't think of a better name. That tends to happen a lot. Yeah, so this house is kind of centered around a main turret thingy, and you can see you can see it right there, with its diagonal walls and all that. So like the front of the house here on the left side, and you're looking at it from the front. Right now we're looking at it from the back, so it's kind of hard to see that. But when you're looking at it from the front and you look at it from the left side, you'll notice that it's kind of similar to a style that I used on my winter retreat house I did in December. So I'm doing that part right now, and you can see we have the fancy roof that kind of makes the second floor part look like it's, in the eaves. It's kind of like an A-frame type of thing, and it looks pretty nice. So like you have, the second floor obscured by not really obscured, but like the sides of it are obscured by the roof, and then you have the top and all that. And yes, only like from the front and back, can you see the second floor, and it's pretty cool. So you can see it right here. It looks rather fancy schmancy, and there's gonna be a bedroom in there and all that jazz, so pretty nice. Anyway, there you go, nice, fancy. Yeah, so that's that part of the second floor done already, and you can see here just adding the rest of the second floor, and you can also see the turret taking shape, which is exciting. Yeah, so like the turret is the main focal point of the house. It's very, very large. Like the whole master bedroom is pretty much in it, as well as a living room space downstairs. So yeah, it's a very spacious turret, as you can see. And I do use a dome roof on the turret, which was really, really cool looking, but also really, really annoying, because you can see what it does to the roof below it. It actually puts a giant gash in it and like cuts it out weirdly. So I couldn't use roofs, normal roofs underneath the dome roof, so I had to opt for a flat roof, which wasn't ideal because I didn't really want that on this house because it just did not suit the style. So, it's just a little unfortunate, but what I ended up doing is putting some skylights in, which are from, believe, blah, 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 forgetting, oh goodness, Roaring Heights, that's the one. Yeah, so they're from Roaring Heights. You'll see the skylights in a bit, not at this particular moment. Oh, there you can see more roof glitching, oh joy. So yeah, I used some skylights, and like, there's one skylight, actually a couple skylights that shine into one of the bedrooms, and a skylight that shines into a room that was going to be a bedroom, but I didn't make it one. Like, you could make it a bedroom if you want to, but currently that room doesn't exist, but in the end that room will just kind of be a sitting room. Anyway, here comes these, here comes some fancy railing things, to make it look, really nice, and then I'm going to put in the skylights, so. Yeah, I ended up using just 3 skylights right here. You can see I'm going to put in 4. So there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. I removed one of them because I didn't take the skylights into account when I did the floor plan later, and some of the skylights were just like weirdly, over walls and stuff, and it was just a bad situation. So I end up removing one of them and rearranging them slightly, but they're pretty cool, especially when you see at the end of part 2. Speaking of the end of part 2, this is a 2-part house build. If you haven't noticed yet, I should have mentioned that. Yeah, so again, I wasn't too happy with it being a 2-part house build. I was really, really wanting this one to be a 1-part house build, but it just took so long. It's just ridiculous. Like, I feel like The Sims 4 is like a really quick game to build in. Like, you can just, pop in there and just like oh gosh, where was I going with that one? Whip something up really quickly, and it just, it's nice and quick. But The Sims 3, like, the final result is cooler, but it just takes so much longer to get there. So I just find a lot of my Sims 3 house builds end up being 2 parts, and a lot of my Sims 4 house builds end up being 1 part. And I don't particularly want it to be 2 parts, because, it is extra work. Like, I have to record 2 voiceovers, obviously. I have to render and upload 2 videos, and blah, blah, blah. It takes a lot more time. Not that I really need to be complaining about it, but you know, it's just the way it is. So you know, this is the two-part house build, and also I feel like for some reason I think it's not true, but it's just a weird perception I get that less people watch it when it's two parts, or that people just watch the second part and they don't watch the first part, so they miss the first part. I don't know, but I guess people skip around anyway, so who really knows what's going on out there? It's all a big mystery. But this is a two-part house build. Yeah, so this is part 1. And if you want to check out part 2, there should be a link in the description. If you're watching this video like the moment it comes out, there might not be part 2 yet, but it should be up like fairly shortly after part 1. But usually it's like right away, like I just like post them both, but just in case like something happens and I just like don't have time to finish the second part, and it just comes a day after it, you know, that could be what happens, but who knows. Anyway, there should be a link in the description and an annotation in this video. Okay, moving on to the actual house at hand, you can see some floor plans happening. Yeah, speaking of floor plans, this house is actually really big. It doesn't look very large from outside. It actually looks fairly small, although it has 6 bedrooms. Again, like I said, one of which I didn't actually make a bedroom because I didn't want to use up all that time. I just wasn't in an wasn't in an inspired mood to do a bedroom. So if you want to make that 6th bedroom into an actual bedroom, you can do that. Although right now it's just a sitting room thing with like some chairs and a bookshelf and a rug and stuff like that. So, you know, you get the idea. Anyway, it can be pretty neat. You'll see there'll be 6 bedrooms. There's like 2 living rooms on the first floor. There's like a 3rd living room on the basement level. And then there's a home gym that's kind of supposed to be kind of a storage room slash like unfinished space, which you'll see, and you know, stuff like that. So it's a pretty big house. And yeah, anyway, you can see here I'm putting some trees in, which is exciting. There's going to be plenty of trees. Again, I wanted to kind of enhance that woodland feel, because again, the name of this house is Woodland Place, so I thought there should be some woodland. Yeah, since I put the trees in so early in the video, it kind of got annoying, especially when it came to other landscaping and putting in like wall paint. So probably should have put those in later, but I didn't. Anyway, you can see here some windows are coming in. Good for like some actual windows that are going to be in the final house are coming in, I should say. I used a lot of those windows with closed shutters on purpose, and that's because the the cone roof that's on top of the turret doesn't cut out the roofs below it, so you would see roofs poking through, and it was just ugly in general. So I just kind of put some shuttered windows there so you can't see inside, and then you don't see that problem. And you know, there's a few windows that are open. It's kind of like interspersed, like it's just kind of random, which kind of gives the house like an older feel or something. I don't know, like maybe less, like it's less well kept up or something. Who knows? It still is interesting, I suppose. You know, so it has that thing going on. And you know, and when it comes to color, which I'm beginning on at this moment in time, you can see it's an interesting color I'm going with here. It's like I don't know, it's like a lemon yellow, I would say. It's not green really. It's kind of, well, it is kind of green. It's like a yellow green, lemony, limey thingy happening. But yeah, it's like all that and yet somewhat muted at the same time. It's just an all-round weird color, I suppose. I don't really know. Anyway, so besides that interesting siding color, I also have a bunch of stone on the house, and I also have some white vertical siding as well. So, you know, I mix things up a little bit. It's not just all this color. Although it's an interesting color, it works pretty well, I think. You know, it's not too horrible or anything. No, that's positive. Oh yeah, the color of the house is not too horrible. No, I like it though. I think it kind of looks nice. And here you can see I'm putting in colors for windows and stuff. So that has a nice like warm wood color. There's kind of like a weathered tone to it. You know, it's not like vibrant or anything. And I hate like vibrant wood tones on the outside of houses because it just looks so fake. Like, unless it's painted, of course. But if it's gonna be like the wood, it should be like a very weathered looking wood. So that's what I went with. And there's the front door. I really like that front door. I used it on my winter retreat house as well. And it just really goes well with this style of house as well. It's just like a nice kind of interesting door. And I believe it came with a barnacle bay, although I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm 99% sure. So here we are on the second floor. You can see the second floor plan there, and we're just popping around the place. And yeah, so like the inside has a kind of, you know, not rustic, but like, I don't know, an interesting vibe. You know, there's a lot of stone in the house as well as outside. So, like bringing the outdoors in to some extent. I wouldn't want to call it like industrial or anything, but it kind of has like an old style to it. That's just, I don't really know. I don't know what you'd call it, but it looks kind of nice. It has like a rustic. I guess rustic is a good word for it. So yeah. Anyway, excuse me. Jeez. All this talking it actually hasn't been that much talking, but anyway, enough excuses. Anyway, this is going to be the columns for the not fake, but like not intended for use balcony that goes around the study. Yeah, this balcony is not intended for use. It's just there kind of for show, but it is there. So if your Sims want to, grab a bit of fresh air after a long day of work, they can pop out onto that balcony, although it's frankly not designed for them to, because I believe most of the doors that lead out to it are blocked by furniture because they're just kind of there for show. It's really there for show, I'll be honest. It looks nice, though. That's the whole point of it. And you can see there's some doors. All those doors, I think, are blocked by furniture, except for maybe one. And that's just because that balcony was not intended for use by Sims. It was just meant to be there for show. So, yeah. Anyway, putting in some more railings and stuff. I'm going to put in the stairs briefly. And, a bunch of landscaping has to be done. We have this lovely sloped driveway, as I've said. If you've watched other Sims 3 house builds of mine, then you'll know that I really love using the terrain to kind of make the house more interesting. So, like my last house especially, that was very interesting. It was off the edge of a cliff, kind of. Actually, my last two houses were on like mountains / cliffs, hills, which is really cool. This one is not, obviously, but it does have the sunken driveway, and the garage is in the basement. There's also a walkout basement around the back, if you noticed. So there's going to be some doors from the basement that leads outside. Of course, that just adds some interest to the house. There's terrain sloping happening because the driveway slopes downward, and I'm putting this lovely rock wall here alongside the driveway. So, I put another rock wall on the other side as well. And it just looks nice. And, there's a tree. There's another tree. And there's some plants and stuff. And it just looks really nice. I like the look of it personally. And here I'm looking for the third color. Like I said, it was a white vertical siding, which I chose. And I'm looking for that right now. There it is. Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure about it. It's, I don't know how I feel about it, but that's what I ended up going with anyway. And I just used it in a few places, and you can see it there on that angled part. And you're probably thinking that angled part over the garage really does not fit in with the house. And you're kind of right. It doesn't, I don't know how I feel about it. It doesn't really fit in with the rest of the house because like it has the flat roof, it has the skylights, it has a different material, and it's on an angle. So it's all very weird. But once I, finish the landscaping and I change up the colors of like the roof, I put the final roofing material and I change up the colors of like the railings surrounding the roof, it kind of blends in a lot better. So you'll see that, and it doesn't look bad in the final product. So no worries, unless you think it looks bad, in which case then it's just your opinion. Anyway, you can see here I'm putting some windows and doors throughout the house, making it look, nice and getting some light inside, which is always a positive thing. You usually want, to have some form of light shining into your house. So that's what I'm trying to accomplish here. And there's a nice little dormer there for one of the bedrooms that has a little bit of a window in it. Brings a bit of extra natural light to that bedroom, indeed. And yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much the exterior windows, doors, and wallpaper materials finished. So we're gonna do the front yard landscaping here, and then we're gonna move inside. And part of the interior is in this part, I believe. The dining room and kitchen is in this part. And then next part is the rest of the furnishing and the rest of the landscaping. So yeah, anyway, you can see there's a bunch of plants and stuff happening around this point. There's also a pond. I don't know when I put that in, but I just noticed it's there now. I wasn't paying attention. It came in at some point. I put a pond in, and there's some rocks and stuff and things of that nature. There's some more rocks on the other side. Like I said, I was going to do a while ago, but I didn't get to it until now. And it just looks nice and lush and quite fantastic. There's also a side door there that leads into the garage if you don't particularly want to go through the garage door. And also, yeah, the garage is a very weird shape if you just saw that briefly. You'll see at the end of part 2 when I go in there and just add some wallpaper and stuff. You can see it there right now for a moment. Yeah, it's a very weird shape. I don't know if you could actually park a car in there in real life, if you could get a car and fit it in there. I mean, of course, in The Sims, the car fits in. but I don't know about the driving part. If you could literally drive it in there, or, it just probably would be impossible, frankly. So, that's just a little technicality with the house, but really, who cares in the end? Anyway, just put a little column there under the overhang, so it looks like that part is supported. And now I'm just going to put in a few more windows, of course, because, I thought I was done with windows a long time ago, but of course I wasn't. And here you can see I'm putting a bed in the master bedroom, which is exciting. And also there, if you noticed for a split second, you would have seen that the roof was clipping into the master bedroom, and that is the reason why I have those shuttered windows, which I mentioned earlier, but I just thought, I would prove it there, so you could see that there, for a moment, you could see that was the situation. Anyway, up here on the very top of the turret, I'm putting this cross kind of shaped room thing, which is there to add some detail. Like, it just looks somewhat interesting, I suppose. It also gives the second floor part of the master bedroom, which can be accessed by that ladder I put in. A little bit more ceiling height makes it a bit more interesting, I suppose. It doesn't really matter, because when you're playing with Sims in the house or whatever, you can't see that there's a higher ceiling or something, but, it's just kind of there for an exterior appeal or whatever. Anyway, we're moving to the interior finally. We're quite a while into this video, and we're finally working on the interior, which is exciting. You can see there's some stone there by the front entrance, and there's also some nice wood floors, which I change the color of later. I make them darker because right now they're just kind of too light. And yeah, putting doors everywhere, so your Sims can, walk through rooms and stuff like that, which is always exciting. And yeah, so anyway, what am I doing at this point? I guess, I don't know. Oh, the kitchen, okay. Yeah, so the kitchen's pretty nice. You can see it's right here off this hallway, relatively open. It's not like a closed-in room or anything, and it has a nice island, which you'll see. And yeah, so here I'm just looking for the color, obviously, just taking my sweet time, as you do, taking a really long time. Okie dokie, well, there's one countertop color. Oh my goodness, Josh, come on, past Josh, move it on, Jesus. Okay, I got some counters in. That's exciting. Okie dokie. Oh my goodness. This is going to take a while probably because, I don't know. I was probably trying to do two things at once and that just did not work out, did it? Well, there's some cabinets in, and here I'm putting in some, the island as I said I was going to do. So yes, like I said, there is going to be an island, which kind of protrudes out, and it's very interesting. And you can see I'm doing that right now. So, it just kind of makes it look more interesting, I suppose, as opposed to just using normal cabinet pieces or whatever. So, yeah, you have that there so you can see, relatively interesting. And also that corner piece, adds that like little extra support leg thing, if that makes any sense, which I think looks pretty cool. So, anyhow, there you go. Beautiful island. There's a sink, some more cabinets, and I'm going to change the countertop color because it was glitching like a ridiculous amount. So basically the idea of this countertop is either just like a solid gray stone or something, or a concrete kind of countertop, which wouldn't really make sense, but you know what? Whatever. It's there. And yeah, so also I'm changing the color of the sinks and like, the other appliances to match the counters and everything else, so it's all good and jolly. And, oh wait, here comes some lighting. Well, there's one light there over the front door, but getting some lights for the actual kitchen, which is exciting. So, there's a lamp for a moment. Oh yeah, I do put a lamp in here, which is kind of weird. I put a floor lamp in, but I thought it looked kind of cool, so I do it anyway, whatever. And also there's some stools, which I think only one of which is usable. The second one in the far corner may be usable, but there may be an object blocking it. And the other two are just kind of strewn. Is that the right use of that word? Strewn about, like they're purposely on an angle and purposely like pushed in too far or too, far away. Whatever, you get the idea. Just so it looks more realistic, of course, because otherwise, it's like weird that you would have all the stools like perfectly lined up and like in a pristine order. So I don't do that. If you want your Sims to actually be able to use them, then you can move them. But, for pure visual reasons, I didn't do that. Anyway, here you can see putting in some wallpaper. I use that same tile wallpaper throughout the whole house when it comes to bathrooms. So like the kitchen, all the bathrooms have it, except for the master bathroom, I believe, and one of the bathrooms in the basement. But since there's 6 bathrooms, 4 of them have that, I think. And, I changed the wallpaper color at the top, but it's just kind of the default thing I go for. And here's some wall lights I'm putting throughout the house, which is exciting. So you can see there's quite a few wow, that was wonderful. What I was trying to say there was quite a few of them. They're just kind of around the different areas of the house. And there's a fireplace. The first fireplace is the second fireplace. And there's the third fireplace. And there's the fourth fireplace. And I do put in a fifth fireplace at some point. So there's a lot of fireplaces. Also a lot of chimneys as well. So actually, wait, how many is there? There's one in the dining room, one in the one living room, one in the second living room, one in the... There's another room that has this fireplace. It was supposed to be a bedroom. Actually, it's only 4 fireplaces. I don't know why I said 5. Wait, no. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's only 4. I don't know what other one there is, but whatever. So there you go. You have a nice... That's going to be the dining room anyway. They have a nice fireplace in there. And yeah, so I'm taking forever to do this. It's really annoying too. It's like I keep pausing, and I didn't realize it when I was doing this how bad that looks, but it doesn't look great. So I do apologize for that. But oh my goodness, see right there, another pause. Jeez, past Josh really needs to step up his game, doesn't he? Oh dear. Anyway, it's not too bad, I suppose. Anyway, putting some details in the kitchen. You have a mirror there over the sink, and a little potted plant there under the cabinet island or whatever it is. And there's apparently a tissue box over there. And oh yes, here's where I put the shelving unit up. So I just put like a little shelf there above that mirror. Also, you probably have noticed there's 2 sinks in the kitchen, and I did that just because I felt like it. So yes, there are 2 sinks in the kitchen. Good observation if you observed it. And yeah, there's just some stuff happening. Basically, there's a little pig sculpture on the shelf, which obviously enhances the room, a huge amount. And oh yes, we're moving on to the dining room now. And there's the dining room table, small dining room table. It's got 6 seats. It's not one of the giant ones. Some nice bookshelves there on either side of the fireplace with some nice like walls and columns and stuff. I do the same thing in the living room as well. You can see I'm doing it right now at this current time. So you can see it looks quite nice, and then I'm changing the color of the fireplace, so you can get the idea of that. And oh, there's another fireplace there, in the front, and there's another bookshelf, and another column, so, plenty of, okay, yeah, there's plenty of bookshelves in this house. It's kind of insane. I think I kind of overdid the bookshelves to an extent, because almost every room has a bookshelf in it, except for some of the bedrooms, but it's kind of crazy. I mean, that was an issue I used to have. I used to always use way too many bookshelves, but I kind of come back to that issue with this house. Like, it's just, I think I little overused it, but it's kind of cool because it kind of gives the house an older feel, and it kind of gives the whole house like a feeling of being kind of a library. But instead of just having one room as a library, the whole house is the library. Because why not? I don't know. It just looks fancy. Like the built-in bookshelves to me just look fancy. So I suppose that's why I did it. Anyway, I'm just touching up the rug there, and that's not what I end up making it. The pauses are just really annoying. I'm sorry. Anyway, just coloring up the rug. Come on, past Josh, you can do it. I have faith. Come on, you can color this rug. Oh, yeah, I did the ivy. That's right. Yeah, this rug has ivy on it. I thought it was kind of neat. I used that pattern throughout the house in the rug department. Anyway, so like you'll see runners in the hallways and stuff, and things like that. Which I have that on there. Anyway, we're nearing the end of this part, so I hope you enjoyed. Definitely continue to part 2. There will be a link in the description below and an annotation at the end of this video. I'm just going to wrap it up. Most of the furnishing will be in part 2. Also, obviously, the final landscaping and stuff. I just basically did the kitchen and dining room in this part, so, you've seen some of the house, but there's still quite a bit more to do, so hope you continue along. Anyway, we're just going to wrap up the dining room here. There's a nice mirror there, a little side table under that mirror, and yeah, so just going to add some details. There's some nice sconces, of course. They add some nice lighting on either side of the fireplace. I'm going to put a couple plants in. I like those ivy things. They look pretty cool, if I do say so myself. And, there's a little old-fashioned lamp and some artwork and a little plant on the table. I do put a plant on the table, right? Yep, I do. And another bookshelf, of course, where else would go in the corner. And, yeah, so that's pretty much it. Another little pod plant, more pausing. Okay, here we go, we're back. What are we doing? Oh, there's a little thingy-majiggy. A lifesaver, that's the name for it, Gotta know your nautical life-saving device terms. There's a table, which I'm holding, and then I'm stopping doing things while I was holding the table. And yeah, oh, there's a rug. Oh, that's exciting. What am I doing? I thought the part was supposed to end by now, but who knows? I mean, it's not like I edited it or anything. No, I did edit it. I just can't remember. So, apparently we're coloring the stairs, and we're doing some more lighting.